The coronavirus is still rearing its ugly head. The numbers are rising. And although the numbers are not where experts had predicted using various models, although we are nowhere near the 10,000 mark, I would rather we worked with caution. I would rather we worked as if the worst is yet to come. It's better to err on the side of caution. It's better to plan for the worst, but hope for the best. It's better to go on our knees, those of us who go on our knees, those of us who pray in other ways, to pray to our Maker the way Tanzania is doing, but also put measures in place that will mitigate this. So far, so good. To the Mutahi Kagwe team, we say, Kongole, you are doing well. But one question must be posed. Have we done well enough? If the numbers were to blow up into where people are fearing they could go, can we handle? Are we doing well enough? Or are we using a tunnel approach where we see this problem as a strictly medical or health challenge when it is not strictly health? It's beyond medical. It's beyond health. So are we doing well? I hope Mutahi Kagwe listens to me and watches this video. In order to answer the question of whether we are doing well or not, I invite Mutahi Kagwe to leave Afya House with Dr. Moth, with Dr. Mwangangi, just a couple of them, using vehicles with private registration numbers. From Afya House, they go to community. Kenyatta, they take Ngong Road. They move on. Corner. And they observe. They get to Ngong. They look at Ngong town, whether people have masks or they don't have masks. They look at how many young men are outside. They look at the touting going on. They go to Kiserian. They observe the same. They move to Ongata Rongai, the circular road. Look at how many idlers, how many young men are idling. Look at the touting that's going on. Look at how the touts are pulling passengers as if nothing is happening. Look at whether they have masks. Then move. Get to Elslas Avenue. Take Elslas Avenue. Go to Bomb Blast, Moy Avenue. Turn and go to GPO. On your way back to Afya Center, look at the hawkers in town. Look at the kind of things they have around their necks. The kind of pieces of cloth. Look at those hawkers. The one that attempts to use a mask, if you can call what he has a mask, has it covering only half the mouth. Look at some of those hawkers with very dirty pieces of textile around the necks. Then go back to Afya House and ask yourself, are we doing enough? Can we handle these things at community infection level? Can we handle this animal if it gets into thousands of infected Kenyans? We pray we don't get there. But can we handle it? Will our hospitals cope? Will our medical staff be in hospitals when we get to a level almost where Italy got? Even if you scale it down by 20 points. Can we cope? I want to advise that we will not cope. For that reason, because the measures we are taking are half measures. Just tell me how a motorcycle rider, how a border rider can put on a mask with that helmet, with the heat. He will not. One sneeze and the passenger has it. Tell me how a lady in a salon can put a mask on when she's inside a dryer. With the cloth masks that we have been told have zero protection. The man doing your hair only needs to sneeze and you have it. We don't have the courage to close these things. Beauty, this is not time for beauty. I have learned to shave myself. I've never shaved my hair or my beard since I was born, since I got the beard. But I'm now doing it. If we cannot do these simple things, like close a salon and a kinyozi, men and this thing comes, we are gone, all of us. So I want to advise Mutahi Kagwe and government, please, don't laugh. Don't play with these things. The measures you have taken cannot save us. New York, when America went through the same as New York. Italy, Spain. By the time they realized it was too late. They traveled the same path we are traveling. They hit the numbers in much the same way we are hitting the numbers in terms of the days. So if we were to go their way in the next 30 days, we could have a situation we cannot handle. I have always advocated for, and I want to repeat here, a total lockdown of 4 to 6 weeks, as experts say. Even if you don't go into a lockdown now, you will be forced to go into a lockdown. By then it will be too late. Go into a lockdown now, and I know why you will not go until you are forced. There are 3 possible reasons. And I'm talking to Kenyans. Reason number 1, that we Kenyans are foolish people. That the leadership we have cannot see a situation and understand it. Like Museveni said, intelligent people have to understand situations. You can find even some people in this country, ministers, still talking about things like exams. This is a war situation. You don't talk about those things. We must first survive. Then all these other things will come. So is it number 1, we cannot go into a lockdown because we can't assess a situation? The leadership is not capable of assessing a situation? I doubt they can. What is the second reason? Possible reason. The second reason why we may not go into a lockdown is because of our fear of foreigners. That a lockdown will affect the people we fear. It will affect Chinese business. It will affect foreigners in one way or the other. It will affect business that is anyway owned by foreigners. Look, this is not the time to mind your neighbor. It's time to mind yourself and your children, and you survive, then your children will play with your children's neighbor after we have survived. Foreigners will always be there. The Chinese will always be there. Let us survive in order to deal with them in the future. If we die, all of us, maybe they will just take our country. The third reason, and which I think is the main reason why you don't want a lockdown, you, our leaders, you are so mean with the money you have stolen. Your own money. You are so mean. You have stocked billions and billions as if you live for millions of years, without even seeing those of you who die when they are billionaires. They are forgotten in a matter of months. And the people begin fighting over those billions. Yet you are so mean, even if your own brother was dying, you couldn't give them 10,000 shillings. Now you are extending that meanness to government. Your philosophy is such that you view the people of Kibera as not human beings worth your attention. So you wouldn't want to spend money on them, even if it is not your own money. And that's why you fear lockdown, because it will involve feeding people. It is not as expensive as so-called experts will tell you. I have done my math. A sack of maize, 90 kg. It has what Luyas call gorogoros, 40 of them, or 2-pack maize flour. In a hotel, a 2 kg pack of flour, maize flour, makes 10 plates of ugali. Assuming we made them 5 instead of 10, your watu washibe. 200 people can feed on agunia. Agunia is at most 4,000. 200 people will feed on 30 sacks in a day. Keep adding 0 as you go on. Add 0 on 4,000, add 0 on 200 to get the number of people, add 0 on the 30 to get the number of sacks of maize. Do your math. I can assure you, you don't even need 100 billion shillings to feed all poor Kenyans for more than 3 months. Nobody should lie to us. So it is that meanness we have as individuals that we now transfer. And because of the philosophy we have, our ideology, who are these common people? They are only good when they are voting for us. It is therefore not difficult to lock down and feed people. And in order for that to happen, I've said repeatedly, bring in the army. The army has the training. They can handle the logistics. There are a few issues that have been involved with, like people say, but the army has the training to ensure there's sufficient food distribution in the 4 or 6 month we shall be in lockdown. Don't mind the economy, because even if you don't lock down and this thing happen, that economy will collapse anyway. You better bring it down under controlled conditions, and then it will revive after the 4-6 weeks. To pretend things will be okay and then they don't become okay, and then the collapse is on its own momentum, you will not rebuild that economy. And therefore, I'm urging the leaders in this country, wake up. Wake up, assess the situation properly. And in my view, it will amount to a lockdown of 4 weeks. We make sure there are no new infections. We mind our borders after that. We monitor the situations, temperature checking everywhere in public. And then we shall begin to rebuild our economy and rebuild our society. If we don't care, take care, we shall destroy both the economy and the people. I hope it doesn't get to that. I join everybody in praying that the numbers don't go wild. But I'm intelligent enough to say it's good to prepare for the worst, but hope for the best as we pray.